Greetings of peace, dear friends. I am Dr. Z, Dr. Z the Reformer. Back again. Happy New Year. I think this may be our first live stream in the new year. So happy New Year. And I want to just share what I believe is the number one skill to next level conscious leadership in 2025. You know, what's gotten us here is not going to get us there. We all have patterns of thinking and believing and feeling and actions that we've used to get us to this moment here. But what's gotten us here is not going to get us over there where we want to grow, because our nature is to grow. And in order for us to grow, we got to be something different. We got to be a different type of leader. So this is why we talk about next level leadership. But it's not just next level leadership, it's next level conscious leadership. Because what's gotten us here, we operate unconsciously or something, or operating off something so far down in the subconscious mind, we're not even aware of what's driving us. And so there's a gap between where we are and where it is that we want to be there. And so this next level conscious leadership is required to get there, because we're either operating consciously or unconsciously. There's nothing in between. We're either growing or we're dying, right? And so I wanted to share just an experience we just had with one of our coachees, a wonderful guy, very successful in his work, global leader, working in 4 different continents and all these good things. And what I like to do in our sessions is take a moment and celebrate some wins, you know. And we were celebrating the wins, and there was some major project that they rolled out. So we were celebrating it, right? And then he says, and the next thing is, and he wanted to jump to the next thing. And what we were inspired to do was to just point that out to him, as we're pointing it out to you, that, for some reason, we think that we're not really supposed to celebrate ourselves, right? You know, I did this, I accomplished this thing, which is great. Now, what's the next thing that I accomplished? And I'm like, oh, hold up. Let's take a look. Let's stop and celebrate the one thing, the first thing, before we jump to the next one. How many of y'all ever do that? You're celebrating something or acknowledging something you did, and then all of a sudden you want to go to the next thing, not even stopping to celebrate yourself. Put in the chat if that's something that you've done. Put a one or something in the chat. Even if you're watching the replay, just put it in there. I'm asking you, right? So we can have some interaction. And since that's what we usually do, right? There's a side to this, because what usually happens is we want to jump to the next thing, so we don't get the frequency and the vibration of the success of the celebration. And that becomes really important, because there's 5 things that are driving our behavior. It's the foundation of behavioral psychology, and it is how our human being operating system works. We call it the 5 drivers. It's what we believe leads to what we think. What we think leads to what we feel. The energy is in the feeling. And those feelings drive us to the actions that we take. And the actions that we take give us results. And the results reinforce what we believe. You found that to be true in your experience, right? If you believe that you're not good enough, right? And then when you sit down to do what you need to do, you're going to be thinking, I'm not going to do it good enough. They're not going to like it. It's not going to be well received. I'm going to do something wrong. I'm going to make some mistake. And so then those thoughts lead you to some kind of feelings. right? You're feeling inadequate, feeling that you're not doing enough or not good enough, or right. And then from there, the action that you take is going to be in alignment with those feelings. Your brain is sitting on that. And so it's going to bring up things and have you pay attention to things that's going to produce exactly what it is that you're thinking and feeling. And then the results are not going to be what you want. And that's going to reinforce the beliefs that I'm not good enough. Can you see it? If you can see it, type something in the chat. I see it. Right? This happens to all of us. And a lot of the beliefs we have are from when we were children. We don't even remember when we developed those beliefs about ourselves. So right now we're focusing on this idea of celebrating. Right? Because normally what we do is we look at the problems. And so, I was asking him about, he was saying, yeah, well, normally when I'm thinking about what I'm going to do going forward, I think about the obstacles. So now, if we're thinking about obstacles and problems around something we want to produce, yeah, we need to mitigate the risks. I get that. But what I'm saying from a scientific brain science point of view, whatever we put our attention on, the brain is going to find things from the past to filter what it is that we're putting our attention on. And it has something called the reticular activating system that determines what you put your attention on. It filters out 90% of what's in reality and focuses on 8 to 10% of whatever it is you're telling the brain to focus on. So if you're focusing on obstacles and problems, then what do you think is going to happen? The brain is going to find more obstacles and problems because that's what you told it to focus in on. It's like a Google search engine. You put something in the box, and then it brings up all these different results from what you put in the box. Well, your brain focuses like that. It works like that. And so if we're focusing on obstacles and problems, then we're going to have more obstacles and problems that show up. And so the number one skill for next level conscious leadership today and this year is the skill of rewiring your brain. And we're offering, suggesting to you to start allowing yourself to celebrate you, right? And celebrate the things that you accomplish on a daily basis. For some reason, we've been taught, oh, you're supposed to humble. You're not supposed to be humble. You're not supposed to celebrate yourself. Don't stand out. What's that saying by Marianne Williamson? I wish I had it. If you could be patient with me, I'm gonna get it because I want to say it the right way, and then we're gonna uh, cut this down. Hang in there with me. Be patient. So the saying is, it has something to do with our how we see ourselves. Yeah. See, I should have put this up first, but that's okay. It's about our deepest fear. She says our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Hold on, I'm not finished. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, and talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And it is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. I would change it and say the Spirit of God that's in us. Because God's glory is only God's glory. But the Spirit of God that's in us. And it's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So if you'd be so kind, put in the chat what's coming up for you as we express Marianne Williamson's quote, because it's true. And fear is a big part of the old identity, the old unconscious identity and beliefs and thoughts and feelings that has gotten us to this point. And what we're very clear and aware of, as I am being in this new identity of Dr. Zeta Reformer, I'm aware that what's gotten us here is not going to get us where we want to go. And so you want to grow, you want to have better relationships, you want more money in your bank account, you want to have more clients and better clients and long-standing clients, you want to have better health, then it's going to require a next level conscious leadership identity. And so again, we're here, we've been commissioned to serve you. And if you're interested in learning more about this, then type something in the chat, DM me, whatever, and we'll be happy to have a conversation, see if some way that we can support you. And maybe not so much, yes, support you and hold you accountable, but the thing about it is you got to be serious. I'm not here to work with people that's not serious. If you don't have integrity, keep your word. If you're not committed to your own self, I can't be more committed to your growth than you are. It's just that we have the tools. We've been invested. God has blessed us with the tools and things that work. And so if you're serious about your own development, if you want to get out of the pain and stress and suffering and anger and frustration and devaluing yourself and your worth and all that other stuff that's causing suffering, that's the old identity. If you're ready to step into your new identity and learn the tools and techniques for rewiring your brain, which is the number one skill for leaders today, then put some in the chat or DM me. Other than that, have a wonderful day. I thank you for your attention. And we love you, and God continue to bless you. Amen.